Hey, how is everyone doing? I hope you guys doing great. So today I want to talk about how our feelings affect us, because I know that many of us still living, in fact, most of us live based on our feelings. When we feel good, our days will feel better. When we feel sad, something happens, we feel sad for the whole days, and it affects our ability to decide, make better decisions, treat someone good, because we won't do that, because also our bad moods. And how does it affect us? Let's dive into that today. So if we are in a bad mood, right, think back. I don't want to ask you to have bad or feel bad about yourself now, but for this video's sake, prove that things work. Think back of a day that you feel really sad, for example, or you have bad experience when you meet someone that triggers you, makes you angry and frustrated. Think of that day. Remembering that day. Okay, I want you to remember that day. What happened? And throughout the days, you probably can recall that, right? I think most of you can recall a bad day, because it will ingrain in our brain, right? We always remember bad things people do to us. So remember that, how you feel that day, how you treat people that day, how you see the world that day. That is important. You probably feel that I want to end this day as fast as possible. I don't want to think about this situation, or I don't want to have this kind of feeling, angry, resentment, sad. You want to run away from it. You don't want to experience that intense feelings. So that happens when you are in a bad day. Right? And now, how do you treat people when you're having a bad day? Right? You don't want to have eye contacts. I just list out the things that we will do when we're having a bad day. We don't want to talk. We want to avoid conversation as much as possible, because we don't have the mood for it. We don't feel good. We don't feel like connecting. Because when we are sad, we are close up. We want to protect ourselves from further harms. We don't want things to come into our world, right? Uncertain things. We don't want that, right? Too much things going on. We close up. We don't want to have eye contact, right? I said that before. We feel bad for the food that we eat, or maybe neutral, right? We don't feel appreciate for the food that we have that day, or we don't feel appreciate of the people closest to us because we are moody, or maybe we are showing some temper, some anger and frustration towards that people that are close to us, because they are the one who is available. It's always with us, and we use that energy. We express that sadness, that frustration to the people that are closest to us. That is not a bad thing. First of all, that is not a bad thing, because we all need someone to express, to talk to when we are having a bad day. It makes us feel better, right? And That is what about having a relationship, because a person or a family or your partner can take some of that stress away from you, or that energy, that negative energy. So when you speak it out, you kind of release that energy. But that person has to sacrifice he or her time, right? To listen to you, to feel you, to be empathy towards your situation. They must feel care about your situation. And you also can feel that if they care for you, right? That's why you are families and you are partners, or your wife or your husband, right? But think of it in the fact that energies, when you have those energy, you usually will have a bad day, a full bad day, right? Or maybe some of you experience that. You think that you have bad luck, and then suddenly everything in your world falls apart, right? It comes in a chain, like a chain reaction. Like today I have a bad day. My boss is showing his or her anger towards me, right? He or she expressed the anger or the frustration because of the business, because of the taking. It's not enough, or it's not enough for them. And you take that energy, you take that anger with you back. And next day, something happens. Like maybe you got into accidents, like your car has to be fixed and you have to spend a lot of money. And things goes on and on. Like if I don't mention things that are more tragic than that, but you have experience, you know that feelings, like they come in chain, they don't stop. And that is because we feel that feelings too often or too deeply and not able to let things go. Like we hold on to that feeling. I feel bad. Today is going to be a bad day. This is the unluckiest day of my life. Like we say those words that are negative to us. And things happen more often if we say that. Because why? We can't have good things if we saying or talking to ourselves badly, right? We can't feel good if we say ourselves as or see ourselves as a stupid person. If you think that you are stupid, if you think that we are less than the best, or we are poor, right? We say those horrible things to ourselves. How can we have abundance? There's no way for us to feel good about those words that we speak to ourselves, right? And as a being that created by God, I believe in God. Right? God created us to have or to be like Him. So why we feel less than we are? Because we are made out of His image, God's image. We should be happy, have abundant and fulfilled, right? We should have that feeling of goodness within us. So why do we talk negatively to ourselves? That is like a habit that we do, right? So because of that, we need to get into the point today. Let go of the feeling that we have to ourselves. I don't know what happened to my camera, like shaking. Right, let's adjust it back. We need to let go of or how we see things in our life, right? In positive way. For example, if you feel bad about some situation, you believe and you have that trust about tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a better day. Or I can't let this affect my mood. Like these terrible things happen to me today, but I won't let that into me. Because I have abundance, I have the ability to give myself that feeling, not defined by the outer world. For example, my boss is projecting the anger, like the frustration towards me. But being able to differentiate between you and him, right? If your boss is a male, that is his feeling, that is his problem, his anger, his issue. And you are your own person. You are different from him. So why we need to relate? I know that because I think most of us, like if you are watching this, probably you are empath, right? You have empathy, you can feel that person, but you don't have to take that feelings. You don't have to take that in because this is not you. You have to separate yourself from you and him. The separation set you free because you don't have to judge yourself. And if you are the one who make the mistake, the problem doesn't define you. The mistake doesn't define you. If you learn from it, we must forgive ourselves when things go wrong, because that is the only way to move on. If you hold guilt, right, grudges from things that has already happened, you will find out that you are not able to move on. So separate yourself from problems, from people, from the mistakes, right? Every one of us have made mistakes, but that is how we grow from it. Like, why does it happen? Because we need to grow from it. This is why problems or mistakes happen. We need to learn. And we separate ourselves. We are not blaming ourselves. We are learning from the mistake, the problem, what causes it, right? Think of this way. We feel much better because we know that we are not going to make that mistake anymore. And that person, your boss, has a reason to be angry, but you are not attached to his or her anger. Right? Don't be attached to things that doesn't belong to you. Their feelings, the emotion doesn't belong to you, and you have no responsibility for their feeling. So take your attachment of them. That is necessary because that is the only way for us to feel good about ourselves as an empath. Because we feel too much, we care too much. I believe that we always care about how other people think about us as an empath, right? As an extreme empath. In fact, I'm an extreme empath. I feel like, even an eye movement that turning towards me, like I think that, if they are judging me or not. I used to think like that. I used to feel like that. But I have to learn to detach from it. I have to learn to ignore that sensory experience, that sensitiveness, cut off that sensitiveness to safeguard my feelings. So you guys have to safeguard your feelings. You are going to be the one who do it because you are an empath. There's no way people can help you. Empath can be powerful if we use it correctly, for the correct person, we can connect to people deeply, faster than people that are not empath. They are sociopaths, right? If you know sociopath, they can't feel people. They are right all the time, right? We are that person that can resonate, can listen, and can quickly connect to that person's energy or emotion. Use it for the right person, people that we care. They can feel us, like resonate with them, connect with them, understand them. That is our superpower. So use it correctly. Don't use it for negative things that doesn't benefit us, you, me. And I have to learn that the hard way. This is why this video is for you guys to realize that use your power for good stuff, right? Don't absorb those negative energy, those anger, or that feelings that we shouldn't feel. That is not our responsible to feel. We must set our boundary clear. We must know that doesn't belong to me. Their feeling is for them. My feeling is for me. I have to take care of my own feelings, my own thoughts, my own energy, self-cap my energy for myself so that I can give to the world. Right? I can give to that person that I care for. So, safeguard our energy is very, very important. And we have to choose to do that because no one can really do it for us. And change begins with ourselves, our thoughts, our conscious thinking. Be conscious of what we feel. Right? Be conscious of what you feel. When you are around people that intimidate you, be conscious of that. If you think that that person has control over your life, for example, like your boss, you are easily triggered by them when they say something to you, we have to cut off that feelings of inferior. Like we are less than them. We are not as powerful as them. We must cut that off because we must separate ourselves from their world. Right? The more we separate from others people's world, we are more into our own world, our own energy. And we can't control other people's energy, right? But we can control our own energy. This is the point. When we cut off the self-judgment, right? The inferiority, comparing, we know ourselves more. We know what we want, we know what we like, and we become happier, we become more giving and more satisfied with our life. How good is that? Amazing, right? I think most of us can live an amazing life if we choose to separate our feelings, our attachment, our comparison, or even like caring too much of what other people think about us. Right? If we can cut that off, our life is more expressive. When we don't care, when we are in our own energy, we can express more. We can be ourselves more. And when you do that, you listen to yourself, to your heart. What it really wants is to express, is to help, is to give, becoming more yourself. And that is why your energy, the way that you say things to yourself, is affecting your life, and you can change that. Be detached from the responsibility of you for others' feelings. Right? When you detach from the feelings that you have to be responsible for them, you found out that your energy will rise. You want to share more, give more, love more. And this is what is all about. Alright guys, I want to end this video here. I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you like it, please help me by like and subscribe to my channel so that I can share more of good stuff, positive things that we can do to ourselves to elevate our own energy and our mood so that we can live better, happier life. Alright, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one. Peace.